Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in again. We are busy working on the Bronco here. We actually just installed this giant 52-inch light bar from the guys over at Oxbeam. Big shout out to them because they sent that out to us for the Bronco. But what they've also sent out to control it is what we're going to be installing today in this video, which is their new wireless switch panel. So this is similar to the one I have in my truck. This is the 8. Mine has 6 spots. This will have 8. And what's new for it is not only can you control it through the switch panel, you can control it through your phone, but what they've also added in now, you'll see when we open up the box, is a little remote, a wireless remote. So you don't have to necessarily open up your phone, control it through the app. If you want to show off your lights to your friends and stuff, you got a little remote. So what we're going to do is open this up, and I'm going to show you how to wire it, how to wire stuff to it. And then if you look under the hood, we got a bunch of wires here, a bunch of stuff connected to the battery. So a big chunk of this will be eliminated. Not only will it clean up the look under the hood, but it's going to make it so much simpler to control things. And like I said, not only will you be able to see the light bar we put on, which stay tuned for that video, it'll be out next after this one, but you'll be able to see how this works with multiple things, how you can change the colors because it is color changing, and all that stuff. So alright, now like all of Oxbeam stuff, it comes super well packaged. In here you get a little box with a sticker, your install pan or your install book, and the control panel stickers for whatever you're putting on. You'll see that once we get to that point. In here you got your 2 QR codes to download the app to control this thing off your phone if that's what you want to do. And then in the actual box, everything's covered in foam. And right on top, you have the main portion of this, which is the box. This is the control box where you'll wire everything into. Underneath, it's the same as mine. You have that little gap there. This is where the wires will actually feed in from the bottom. So from the top, everything looks clean. And then when you open it up, everything will be wired directly into here. You can see this is the 8. So you have 8 spots to hook up accessories. They all have different amperage to them, from 5 amps all the way up to 30. You have your positive, negative, and ACC and 4-pin connectors. I'll get more into that as we wire it. I'll show you what you can do with all that stuff. And then, like mine as well, spare fuses and a fuse puller on the underside of the lid. Come back to the box. This is the wireless remote I was talking about. So again, you can turn them all on and off, 1 to 8. Pick and choose which one you want. Just makes it simpler if you're messing around, want to show off to your friends. Then underneath the main portion is the stuff that controls the actual box. So this is the only thing that will now have to be wired to your battery. You have your positive and negative. Everything else will be powered through that straight into the box. And then in here you have your other wires, which I will show when we get to that point. More wires. This will be the only thing that actually goes into the truck, which will then be connected to this guy right here, which is the actual switch panel itself. Super solid. It's made of steel or aluminum. It's not going to go anywhere. Super strong. Works well. That'll go in the truck. That's the only wire that will have to get fed through the firewall. And then the nice thing with these Oxbeam control panels as well is this guy right here. This is a 60 amp breaker. This goes between the positive power from the battery to the box, so you're not wiring from your battery directly to the box. This is in between, so if anything ever short circuits with the battery or short circuits with the fuse box, it's not going to fry the other side. So this will break or this will pop, and then you don't have to worry about frying all of your accessories you have wired up, because this is going to blow before it does any major damage. And then in here you just have a little bit more stuff. They send you everything you need. You got fuse taps and everything you're going to need to hook this up. What this is a little rubber cover. If you have this outside your vehicle, this is like a glove almost for the top of this. Keeps the water and dirt and everything off if you're doing that. And then just some more wiring and underneath. And then underneath everything, if you want to mount this specifically with what Oxbeam sends, you got a couple different mounts to actually mount the box onto something solid. But I have another option for this, which you're going to see in the install, which we will start right now. Alright, so the easiest part is actually mounting the box itself. What I've chose to do, clean off the top of the panel right here. This is your fuse box. So no better place to put another fuse type box in that spot. And all I'm going to do is I got double Velcro, double-sided sticky Velcro. I'm going to put one on each side, and then we'll stick it directly on there. That's how I have mine on the truck, and it has not moved since day one. So we can put it there. Everything's nice and close to the battery. We can do the same for the little fuse panel, and then it's just as much as wiring it up. And you can see all the ugly wire is out of the way. It'll look a lot cleaner. And then the last little bit I got tucked up in here still. You can see a relay and a bunch of wires down there. That's all going to be chopped out because you don't need any of that now. You don't even need the switch inside to turn on the lights because it's all going to be powered through this box. So we'll get the Velcro on there and then we can start hardwiring it in. And just like that is how it'll sit. You have spot 1 closest to the driver's side or the window, spot 8 closest to the front of the truck. So again, leave enough space out here. You can see my finger can fit through there. You got plenty of room to get your wiring up in here and into the spots to connect them. So now we're going to go ahead and connect the positive, negative, and the extra fuse box, and then we'll connect the 2 for the lighting and the control panel itself. Alright, so the next steps are basically just plug and play. It's a no-brainer. You have your positive and negative wire. It's labeled, 1 to positive, 1 to negative. This thin red wire plugs into the first spot here, 2-pin, and the 4-pin one is the black wire. This black wire will be the one that we feed through the firewall. That'll control the switch panel. And this red wire, if it's long enough, I'm not quite sure yet, and I'm not sure where I'm going to tap it into, but that controls the backlight for the switch panel. So again, it might go in the front, or I may just open the box that this is sitting on because this is the fuse box, and we'll tap into one right there. But once I figure that out, I'll show you. And then of course, make sure they're all fed through here. They're all going to be tucked over nicely, and you can see the wires have no issues coming up through here. And then keep in mind with your positive, you also end up with a second one, because the second one will go to that 60 amp fuse or breaker, which we're probably going to sit right here on top of the battery, the cover plate. So then the power from the actual battery itself will go to the 60 amp breaker, and then that breaker on the other end will connect to the power or the positive on the switch panel, and then the negative wire just comes and grounds itself on the negative spot right here. Alright, so here we are. I got this kind of in place. It'll be a little bit more adjusted once it's done. But you got positive to positive. Your negative is grounded right here on the negative side. Everything comes around. I put the fuse right here. One note, just pop the breaker while you're hooking everything up. It'll just eliminate the power going to the box. So in case you do anything weird, it's not going to wreck anything. And then when once you have it all hooked up, you just push that back down. If you want to pop it, you push the button and it'll pop the breaker, and now you have no power in the actual box. So again, all the wires come up from underneath. So this will be our light bar. These are our ditch lights. These are the rock lights. And one of the main reasons to get this thing and deal with it is when you come down here, this is all the wire I got out of the truck just from the 3. So you can imagine if we had 8 things hooked up here, how much wire you'd be saving from under the hood. It just cleans it all up. You don't have a bunch of switches everywhere. And again, you don't need to have anything else other than the wires plugged into here, and then it's all controlled either through your phone, the remote, or the switch panel inside. And then as for the remote portion, what you need to do is you have a little threaded piece right here. If I undo this, you can see right there, this is the end of the little antenna that comes for the remote. It's basically the receiver. You get a little antenna like this. You can pick a place to stick it on your vehicle. Take note, the bottom of this does have sticky tape on it, but it's also a magnet along with the remote. You can see you don't have to worry about losing it. If it's stuck to something in the truck, it's going to stay where it's put. And for this, you don't have to necessarily stick anything to the truck. And then as for everything going into the truck, just the 2 wires here. The black one is the wire for your remote, and the red one is for the backlighting and to tell this thing to wake up once it's given power. And that comes down here there's a little rubber grommet right there. They're both put into the driver's side inside the vehicle, and we're going to tap the red into the fuse panel in there, which I'll show you right now, and then that's the last step. We can turn the power back on and this thing should all be good to go. Alright, so underneath inside the vehicle, you can see up there, that's where they come through the rubber grommet. It'll come down here, that's our wire, and then what you're looking for, this comes in the box from Auxbeam. There's one with a little 5 amp fuse. You can see I got another one in there already. It comes with a little connector attached on the end from Auxbeam already. Take this panel right here and just give it a yank, and everything comes down. This is lighting from something else that's going to come out. Don't worry about that. But what you're looking for is the third one from the bottom, spot 35. So you got a yellow, a blue, and in this spot is a orange 5 amp, and that is the one that I put in here with wire this. We'll crimp it to the other wire. You plug it straight in there, and then this thing will only be powered when the vehicle's on, so you don't have to worry about it losing or draining your battery when you're sitting with the vehicle off. And again, you're not going to be having lights flickering, nothing like that. It'll plug straight in, and that's all you need to do. Alright, now that everything is said and done, all you have to do is put the stickers on the switch panel, because you can see they all come just white like this, but what you get is these little stickers. So you get a whole page full of them. It's just peel and stick. And if you end up changing these around, because right now I just have it in 1, 2, and 3, but one day when we add more, you may switch them around depending on the amperage. You get a whole bunch of different stickers for a bunch of different things. And again, when you peel these back off, you can stick them right back onto the paper, or you can stick them in a different spot here. So it's easy as just peel and stick. Alright, so don't mind the mower, but now that everything's all said and done, what we're going to do is just close this up, and you can see this just hooks back on, push down, and everything's hidden away in there. We'll clean this up a little bit more later on, but what we're going to do now is wait for it to get dark, and then we'll finish off the video. I can show you the backlighting. We'll test out the remote portion of this. I'll hook it back up. Not sure exactly where we're putting this yet, so that won't be on there, but we'll hook it up just for the video purposes, and then we can show you the lights on here, and again, you'll get to see the new light bar that we installed, so stay tuned for that. So for now, let's wait till it gets dark and then we'll carry on. Alright, so we've got it all installed. We're sitting out here in the dark, so we can show you how the lights work as well as the switch. Rock lights we got on right now. We can hit the windshield. It's just a click of a button, and those two turn on. And then a little sneak peek of the roof bar as well. You can see when we hit that, it basically lights up as far as the eye can see. It's got a big spotlight in the middle. You can check out the install video on that. But cool thing with this setup is not only can you do it on the switch panel through your actual phone, but they also give you this remote. And now keep in mind, I didn't hook up the antenna part because I found if you're close enough to the truck, it'll still pick it up and let you use the remote. The antenna would be so if you're further down, so you're standing down the street or whatever, and you want to click on your lights, if you're using this for accessories on your truck or whatever, you don't have to walk up to the truck. You can hit it, this will just be in your pocket, and then it'll work. So we'll hop out and I'll show you how they look from the outside and how easy it is to work. Alright, so outside the vehicle, we just have the headlights on. You can see how bright those are. But if you want to turn on your rock lights, we've got that set in spot number 3, and you can see they pop right on. And then same thing, your ditch lights, spot number 2, bright as can be. You guys probably can't see any of that, but again, lights up the road. Turn those off, turn the rock lights off, and then we hit the big one, light bar up top. Bam, just like that. And it's super simple, so no matter what you have hooked up to this thing, it's literally just a push of a button to turn it all on and off. And again, doesn't necessarily have to be lighting. It can be anything you can hook up to the box with, you know, a right amount of power to be hooked to the box. You can turn it on and blind all your friends like us, or you can hook it up to little things, heaters, whatever. I have the compressor hooked up to mine now, and then you can come out, and if you're off-road, you'll have no problem seeing. You can see how easy it is and how bright everything gets. So there you go. Shout out to Oxbeam for sending us the switch panel and the big light bar. And if you like the video, make sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more. Hopefully we'll catch you in another video. Thanks for watching.